frontier. These are the voyages to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
7th planet. Do you have any idea what could be its color? It's evident in the picture, so let's learn about that more. It is greenish blue, okay? And as you already know, it is the 7th planet from the sun in the solar system. That is Uranus. So we will be learning more about it, how it got its name, and mostly what does it contain, how is it made. Okay, William Herschel named Uranus in 1781 after the Greek god Uranus. If you have observed, all the other planets are named after the Roman gods. Uranus is the only lone planet. That's why it's called the lone planet, where it is named after the Greek god. It is called the father of Titans. Uranus has only been visited once. Only one spacecraft in the history of space flight has ever made a close approach to Uranus. NASA's Voyager 2 conducted its closest approach to Uranus on January 24, 1986, passing within 81,000 kilometers of the cloud tops of Uranus. It took thousands of photographs of the gas ice giant and its moons before speeding off towards its next target, Neptune. So it is called the ice giant. Let's see few things or the properties about Uranus. Uranus has the color of blue and green, which is caused by the methane gas around it, children. Its atmosphere is 83% of hydrogen, 15% of helium, and 2% of methane. Underneath the surface, there is water that contains of hydrogen and helium. When it gets more deeper, it will be more gumpy and sticky because it is made up of ammonia and methane. The inside of Uranus is hydrogen and the core is a rocky surface, which is very hot. Only a little bit of the core it has, and all other surfaces are mostly of the gases and water. That's why it's called the coldest planet as well. Okay, so here you can see Uranus has an inner rocky core, this one, okay, which is made up of silicate, iron, nickel rock. The core of Uranus is probably smaller than the Earth's core. Uranus core may be small because of the rock on the planet is floating in its ocean, children. Unlike the other giant planets, Uranus radiates little heat into the space from its deep interior because the other layer, which is called the mantle, made up of water, ammonia, methane, ices, and then the atmosphere, hydrogen, helium, methane gases. This layer is made up of that. And then the outer atmosphere, the upper cloud layer. Let's see the movement. If you observe why it is called a lone planet, it is unique as well when you see the movement and the rotation. Uranus orbits in each side. Long ago, a very large object smashed into the space. The crash was so powerful that it changed the direction of Uranus rotation, children. That rotation impact each day in Uranus to be 17.9 hours, and each year is 84.07 years of Earth. So, due to its long orbit path, it rotates in a clockwise direction. See the movement, how it spins. And it has 27 moons. Like all the giant planets, Uranus has its share of moons. At present, astronomers have confirmed the existence of 27 natural satellites. But the most part, these moons are small and irregular. Here you can see few of the moons: Miranda, Titania, Ariel, and Oberon, other moons. And you must be wondering, only Saturn has rings? No, Uranus also has rings. All the gas and ice giants have their own ring systems. And Uranus is the second most. It is dramatic set of rings it has in the solar system. 13 distinct rings are presently known, the brightest being the Epsilon ring. And within the exception of two very narrow ones, these rings usually measure a few kilometers in width. And do you know, we as scientists or the astronomers have observed, have detected X rays from Uranus for the first time using NASA's Chandra X ray Observatory. This result may help scientists learn more about this enigmatic ice giant planet in our solar system. You will see a video on this, children.
Astronomers have detected X-rays from Uranus for the first time using NASA's Chandra X-ray Observatory. This result may help scientists learn more about this enigmatic ice giant planet in our solar system. Uranus is the seventh planet from the Sun and has two sets of rings around its equator. The planet, which has 4 times the diameter of Earth, strangely rotates on its side, making it different from all other planets in the solar system. With Voyager 2 as the only spacecraft to ever fly by Uranus, astronomers rely on telescopes closer to Earth, like the Hubble Space Telescope, to learn about this distant and cold planet that is made up almost entirely of hydrogen and helium. To learn more about Uranus, researchers used Chandra to observe the planet in 2002 and then again in 2017. They saw a clear detection of X-rays from the first observation, which was just analyzed recently, and a possible flare of X-rays in those obtained 15 years later. What could cause Uranus to emit X-rays? The answer, mainly the Sun. Astronomers have observed that both Jupiter and Saturn scatter X-ray light given off by the Sun. Similar to how Earth's atmosphere scatters the Sun's light and turns our clear daytime skies blue. While the authors of the new Uranus study initially expected that most of the X-rays detected would also be from scattering, there are tantalizing hints that at least one other source of X-rays is present. If further observations confirm this, it could have intriguing implications for Uranus. One possibility is that the rings of Uranus produce more X-rays than the rest of the planet, which is the case for Saturn's rings. Uranus strangely has a high number of very energetic particles in the space environment around it. If these energetic particles collide with the rings, they will cause the rings to glow in X-rays at wavelengths that depend on what the rings are made of. Another potential explanation is that at least some of the X-rays come from auroras on Uranus, a phenomenon that has previously been observed on this planet at other wavelengths. Uranus is an especially interesting target for X-ray observations because of the unusual orientations of its spin axis and its magnetic field. While the rotation and magnetic field axes of the other planets of the solar system are almost perpendicular to the plane of their orbit, Uranus is the only planet whose rotation axis is nearly parallel to its path around the Sun. The axis of its magnetic field is also offset by an unusually large angle from its spin axis. This may also result in auroras on Uranus that are unusually complex and variable at different wavelengths. Determining the true source or sources of the X-rays from Uranus could help astronomers better understand how more exotic objects in space emit X-rays.
All right. Not only that, an interesting thing is Uranus can be seen with the naked eye. It is at the range of our the sight which through which we can see. However, the sky or the night sky need to be very dark. You know, when the telescope was invented, they observed Uranus. However, they thought it is a star. And then William has observed, no, it is a planet. So that is the uniqueness of Uranus. And not only that, we have already seen that Uranus is often referred to as ice giant. Why? We know now. And Uranus is the coldest planet. There, the temperature is around minus 224 degrees centigrade. And Uranus' distance from the sun is 2.871 billion kilometers. So these are the saline features, or few features about the Uranus. Now, to sum up all, Uranus is the seventh planet from the sun. Uranus is a gas giant, meaning its surface is full of gas. Uranus orbits the sun once every 84 years. The planet is often called an ice giant since at least 80% of its mass is a fluid mixture of water, methane, and ammonia ice. And Uranus has 27 moons. The names of these moons are chosen from the characters in the works of Shakespeare and Alexander Pope. We'll see a video, children.
In ancient times, humans studied the night sky and discovered the worlds of Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. But beyond this realm of knowledge, another world shined brightly, just waiting to be discovered. Uranus is the seventh planet from the Sun. From a distance of about 20 astronomical units, or 20 times the distance between Earth and the Sun, Uranus orbits the star once every 84 Earth years, approximately the length of a human's entire life. This orbit causes each season of Uranus to last that much longer. Theoretically, a human living on Uranus would experience the 4 seasons only once, but each for about 21 years. Partially due to its distance from the Sun, Uranus boasts the coldest temperatures in the solar system. These icy temperatures, dropping as low as negative 370 degrees Fahrenheit, are largely influenced by the planet's composition. At about 4 Earths wide, Uranus has an Earth-sized core made of iron and magnesium silicate. The remainder, approximately 80% of Uranus, is a worldwide ocean of ices made of water, ammonia, and methane, the chemical behind the planet's cool blue color. This icy composition prevents Uranus from emitting much heat compared to other planets, making the blue world the solar system's coldest. In addition to its extreme temperatures and orbit, Uranus has a dramatic orientation. While the other 7 planets spin on their axes like tops, Uranus appears to roll along its equator. The planet is tilted at a near right angle, in which polar regions point toward and away from the Sun rather than upward and downward. This tilt, thought to be the result of Uranus's collision with at least one celestial body, has also affected the orientation of Uranus's 13 rings and 27 known moons. Unlike the rings and moons of other worlds, which orbit their home planets horizontally, those of Uranus orbit in a vertical orientation along the planet's tilted equator, much like a Ferris wheel. Uranus and its many unusual features were a mystery to the ancients, and the planet was actually thought to be a star. But in the late 18th century, astronomer William Herschel discovered that the celestial object was actually a new world. The scientific community debated over what the planet should be called and eventually chose a name suggested by astronomer Johann Elert Bode. Bode believed that since Jupiter was the father of the gods and Saturn was the father of Jupiter, then this new planet should be the father of Saturn, Silus. But rather than following the tradition of using names from ancient Roman religion, Bode instead opted for Silus's ancient Greek equivalent, Uranos. Uranos, the ancient Greek god of the heavens, was then Latinized to be Uranus. To this day, Uranus is still the only planet that veered from tradition with an ancient Greek namesake, a status most fitting for a planet beyond convention.
Thank you, children. I hope you learned about Uranus. And do you think there is life on Uranus? No, because it's made up of mostly gases. Thank you.